Cops rushing toward A$AP Rocky's Beverly Hills mansion, sirens cutting through the silence, helicopters circling above a billionaire estate that was supposed to be untouchable. And at the center of it all, Rihanna's name being tied to a shocking 911 call that allegedly changed everything in seconds. Because what started as a private night inside one of Hollywood's most secure homes suddenly turned into a full-scale police response, with rumors of panic, chaos, and a situation so intense that officers reportedly had no choice but to move in immediately. But here's where things get even darker. Insiders are now claiming this wasn't just a random emergency call. It allegedly started with Rihanna herself dialing 911, her voice shaking, her words unclear, and what she said next reportedly sent police into urgent action mode. And just minutes later, multiple units were outside Rocky's mansion. But what they found inside is the part nobody is fully confirming yet. Was there really a threat inside the home? Was A$AP Rocky involved in something police needed to intervene in? Or is this another case of celebrity panic turning into a viral misunderstanding that the internet has completely blown out of proportion? Because by the end of the story, one question will change everything. What exactly forced cops to raid A$AP Rocky's mansion right after Rihanna's 911 call? And the truth is far more explosive than anyone expected. To understand how everything spiraled into cops surrounding A$AP Rocky's mansion in full tactical response mode, you have to understand the pressure cooker this relationship has been living inside for years. Because according to insiders, this was never a random emergency. It was the result of years of fame, pressure, obsession, and a relationship constantly under public surveillance. Rihanna is not just a global superstar. She is a cultural force who turned herself into an empire. Music, fashion, beauty, motherhood, everything she touches becomes global news within minutes. But with that level of power comes something darker. Constant exposure, constant speculation, and constant intrusion into her private life. And A$AP Rocky has lived in that same spotlight, but from a different angle. A fashion icon, a rapper, a man constantly surrounded by industry elites, luxury events, and high-profile attention. To the outside world, he appears calm, confident, untouchable. But inside that world, everything moves fast, and loyalty is always being tested in silence. Over time, rumors have followed him everywhere. Cheating allegations, fashion world whispers, and social media speculation that never fully disappears even when denied. None of it has ever been proven, but in celebrity culture, repetition becomes reputation. And that reputation slowly builds pressure inside relationships, especially one as visible as Rihanna and Rocky's. Then came the turning point that allegedly changed Rihanna's emotional state forever. Months before the mansion incident, their home was targeted in a terrifying real-life attack attempt. According to reports at the time, shots were fired near the property while the family was inside. Even though no one was physically harmed, insiders claim the psychological impact never left Rihanna. After that moment, everything reportedly changed. Security increased. Privacy tightened. Emotional sensitivity grew. Every unfamiliar sound, every unexpected situation, every late-night message carried more weight than before. And that is the environment the story is coming from. A house already under stress. A family already under pressure. A relationship already living inside public scrutiny. So when Met Gala season arrived again in 2026, fans thought they were seeing glamour. But behind the scenes, insiders claimed things were more fragile than ever. Rihanna and Rocky arrived like royalty, as they always do. Late entrance. Cameras flashing. Internet instantly reacting. But what people don't see is what happens after the flashbulbs fade. Private rooms. Restricted hallways. Security conversations. Emotional fatigue after hours of public attention. And according to leaked whispers spreading online, Rihanna was already in a heightened emotional state that night. Not from one single event, but from everything building up over time. Motherhood. Fame pressure. Constant surveillance. Past threats. And the weight of always being watched. Meanwhile, Rocky was navigating his own world inside the same event, interacting with designers, industry figures, and guests in an environment where conversations move quickly and boundaries blur easily. And that's where the first cracks allegedly began forming that night. Not in public, not on camera, but in the small, unseen interactions happening away from the red carpet. Because insiders claim that by the time the night was halfway through, Rihanna and Rocky were no longer fully in the same emotional space, even while standing just meters apart. Then came the moment that allegedly triggered everything. A private incident involving a sudden emotional reaction, a rapid escalation behind closed doors, and a situation that security reportedly began paying attention to much earlier than the public realized. But nobody expected what would happen next. Because within hours, that private tension would allegedly turn into something so serious that emergency services were contacted. And once that 911 call was made, everything about that night changed instantly. And the mansion was no longer just a home. It became the center of a police response that nobody saw coming. The moment the 911 call came in, everything shifted from private celebrity tension to full-scale emergency response. According to circulating reports, dispatchers received a call from inside the Beverly Hills mansion that immediately raised red flags, not because of what was clearly said, but because of how urgent, panicked, and fragmented the voice on the line reportedly sounded. Within minutes, units were already being dispatched toward one of the most heavily secured celebrity properties in Los Angeles. But what made this situation even more explosive was one key detail spreading online. The caller was allegedly Rihanna. No confirmation, no official audio released publicly. But that claim alone was enough to send social media into overdrive. Because in the internet's mind, if Rihanna calls 911, something serious must be happening. As police vehicles approached the mansion, helicopters were reportedly deployed overhead, circling the estate while officers coordinated entry procedures from multiple angles. And inside the home, everything was reportedly frozen in confusion. Guests and staff allegedly had no clear understanding of what triggered the emergency response. Some believed it was a security concern. Others thought it was a medical issue. But no one had full information. Then came the first shocking twist. Insider leaks began circulating claiming that A$AP Rocky was being questioned by responding officers inside the property. Not arrested, not detained, but questioned. And that distinction is what immediately ignited the internet. Because the moment people heard "questioned by police inside Rihanna's mansion," the narrative instantly shifted from confusion to suspicion. Fake messages began circulating online almost instantly. Something went down inside the house before cops arrived. Rihanna was visibly shaken when officers entered. Security separated individuals before police made contact. None of these claims were verified, but they spread faster than facts ever could. And then the story took an even darker turn. A viral thread claimed that the entire emergency began after a heated internal confrontation between Rihanna and Rocky earlier in the evening. According to the rumor, the argument allegedly escalated inside a private section of the home, away from guests and staff. Some posts claimed voices were raised. Others claimed objects were knocked over. Some even exaggerated it further, suggesting security was forced to intervene before things got worse. Again, nothing confirmed. But in viral storytelling, uncertainty becomes fuel. And then came the twist that made everything spiral completely out of control. A second wave of rumors began claiming that the 911 call wasn't just about an argument, but about a perceived security threat inside the home that caused panic. That detail completely changed the tone of the story. Now it wasn't just relationship drama. It was fear. It was urgency. It was danger inside a locked mansion. By the time police reportedly entered the property, social media accounts were already posting edited clips, zoomed screenshots, and speculative breakdowns claiming they had inside information. One viral post read, "Cops didn't just arrive, they moved like something serious had already happened." Another claimed, "Rihanna was escorted to a separate area immediately after officers entered." And another more extreme rumor suggested, someone inside the mansion was temporarily separated for questioning related to the 911 call. None of it was confirmed, but the internet doesn't wait for confirmation when emotion is high. Meanwhile, real eyewitness accounts outside the property remained vague, describing only heavy police presence, restricted access roads, and increased security activity around the estate. And that lack of clarity only made the situation worse, because the less people knew, the more they assumed. And in that assumption, the story evolved again. Now, it wasn't just about what happened inside the mansion. It was about why Rihanna called 911 in the first place. Was it panic? Was it protection? Was it misunderstanding? Or was it something far more serious that has not yet been made public? Because as the police presence continued outside the property, one thing became clear. This was no longer a simple celebrity incident. It was an unfolding situation with multiple conflicting versions, and none of them fully confirmed yet. And just when it seemed like things couldn't escalate further, the internet discovered something else that changed the entire direction of the story again. Just when the situation outside the mansion seemed like it couldn't get any more intense, a new wave of details began circulating online that completely flipped the narrative upside down. Because while police were still on site, controlling access and securing the perimeter, anonymous social accounts started pushing a completely different version of events, one that suggested the 911 call was only the surface of something much deeper happening inside the property. And this is where things got even more explosive. A viral thread claimed that the situation inside the mansion wasn't just a heated argument or misunderstanding, but a sudden emotional breakdown moment that escalated unexpectedly and triggered panic within the household. According to these unverified posts, Rihanna had allegedly become overwhelmed during a private internal situation involving tension that had been building for days. Again, nothing confirmed, but the way it was being described online made it feel cinematic, almost unreal. Posts claimed voices were heard echoing through the mansion's private wing. Others said security staff were seen moving quickly between sections of the property. Some even exaggerated further, suggesting that multiple rooms were locked down temporarily during the police response. And then came the twist that set the internet on fire. A supposed insider account began circulating a claim that A$AP Rocky was not the source of the emergency, but was instead being positioned as part of a misinterpreted situation that unfolded during Rihanna's distress. That single idea completely split the internet in two. One side believed this was a relationship collapse in real time. The other side believed this was a misunderstanding blown out of proportion by viral speculation. But neither side had full facts. And that uncertainty made everything spiral even faster. Then suddenly, another claim surfaced. This one said that a third party inside the mansion may have been involved in triggering the emergency response, allegedly confusing the situation before police arrived. That detail, real or not, completely changed the direction of the entire story. Because now it wasn't just about Rihanna and Rocky anymore. It was about who else was inside that mansion at the time. Security staff? Guests? Private personnel? Nobody could confirm anything officially. But online speculation filled every gap. And just when the story felt like it had reached peak confusion, a new leaked screenshot began spreading across social media showing alleged internal panic messages between staff members reacting to the arrival of law enforcement. The messages were never verified, but they were enough to push the narrative into chaos. Police are outside. Don't let media see anything. Stay inside until further notice. Management is handling the situation. Again, no proof, no confirmation. But in viral moments like this, perception moves faster than truth. And as the speculation intensified, one more development completely shifted public attention. Reports began suggesting that Rihanna was seen leaving a section of the property separately from others shortly after officers entered the home. That detail, even without confirmation, created a storm of interpretation online. Was she being protected? Was she cooperating with officers? Or was she simply being escorted for privacy during a chaotic moment? Nobody knew for sure, but the lack of clarity only deepened the mystery. Meanwhile, A$AP Rocky's presence inside the mansion remained one of the most discussed points online, with conflicting claims saying he was either cooperating with authorities or simply speaking to security personnel during the confusion. Nothing official confirmed any of it, but the narrative had already escaped control. And as the night progressed, one thing became undeniable. This was no longer just a celebrity emergency story. It had turned into a global speculation event, where every silence was interpreted and every movement was analyzed like evidence. And just when it seemed like the situation might calm down, a new wave of reactions from the public and industry completely reignited the fire. By the time the first wave of rumors hit peak circulation, the internet was no longer reacting, it was erupting. What started as a quiet police presence at a celebrity home had now turned into a global trending storm where every single detail was being dissected, exaggerated, and reinterpreted in real time. And the most dangerous part? Nobody had official clarity, so speculation became truth in the minds of millions. Social media platforms lit up within minutes. Hashtags tied to Rihanna and A$AP Rocky began dominating timelines, with users breaking into two completely aggressive camps. One side insisted something serious had happened inside the mansion, pointing to the heavy police response as proof. The other side pushed back hard, accusing viral accounts of fabricating drama out of nothing. But the conflict only made engagement worse. Fake tweets started circulating that looked shockingly real. Something inside that mansion went left before cops arrived, insiders already talking. Rihanna calling 911 is not a small thing. People need answers. Rocky was inside when officers entered. That's all I'm saying. None of these were verified, but they were reshared thousands of times, stripped of context, and treated like breaking news. Entertainment gossip pages jumped in too, adding fuel to the fire with vague posts like, "Developing situation at Beverly Hills property involving major celebrity couple. No names confirmed. No details clarified. Just enough ambiguity to keep people hooked." And that's when industry reactions started trickling in. Anonymous music insiders began posting cryptic comments suggesting that both Rihanna and Rocky were under extreme pressure lately due to personal and professional demands. Others hinted at behind-the-scenes stress that fans never see. But again, nothing concrete, just carefully worded suggestions designed to spark curiosity. Meanwhile, fan communities turned the situation into a battlefield. Some defended Rihanna fiercely, claiming she would only call emergency services in a situation that genuinely required it. Others defended Rocky, arguing that online narratives were unfairly targeting him without evidence. And in the middle of all this chaos, conspiracy theories multiplied rapidly. One viral theory claimed the entire situation was a misunderstanding involving security protocols inside the mansion. Another suggested the 911 call was triggered by a false alarm that escalated internally before being clarified. And a more extreme version insisted the media was deliberately amplifying the story to damage the couple's public image. None of it could be verified. But virality doesn't require verification. It only requires emotion. And this story had plenty of it. Even celebrity commentary accounts started weighing in with carefully worded opinions like, "This situation shows how fast narratives can spiral when celebrities are involved. People need to stop assuming before facts come out." But even those statements only added more attention to the topic. Because the more people said, "Don't assume," the more people assumed. Then came the moment that pushed everything into its most chaotic phase yet. A supposed updated report began circulating claiming that law enforcement had already completed their initial sweep of the property, but were still remaining on standby due to ongoing clarification inside the residence. That phrase alone sparked a new wave of panic online. Ongoing clarification? What does that even mean? The internet immediately filled in the blanks. Some said it meant questioning. Others said it meant investigation. Others went even further, suggesting internal disagreements were still being resolved. Nothing official confirmed any of it. But by now, truth didn't matter as much as narrative momentum. And just when the noise seemed like it couldn't get louder, a final wave of insider claims began hinting that what triggered the entire situation may not even be what everyone assumed at all. And that's where everything takes a darker, more confusing turn. Just when the chaos online seemed like it had reached its absolute peak, a completely unexpected layer of the story began to surface. One that instantly changed how people were interpreting everything that happened that night. Because a new set of unverified insider claims started circulating, suggesting that the 911 call may not have been triggered by a relationship dispute at all, but by a misinterpreted emergency inside the mansion that escalated in seconds. According to these viral posts, the situation inside the Beverly Hills property allegedly began as a private security concern, something internal staff initially tried to contain without outside involvement. But then, something went wrong. Not dramatically at first, but quickly enough that confusion reportedly spread through multiple parts of the home. And this is where the narrative split completely. Some accounts claimed Rihanna was the one who made the call after sensing a serious security breach risk inside the property. Others insisted it was staff members who initiated the emergency protocol, not her directly. And a third version, the most controversial of all, suggested the call was placed during a moment of miscommunication where multiple people inside the home were reacting to the same situation differently. None of these claims are confirmed, but each version added more confusion to an already explosive story. And then came the detail that sent social media into overdrive again. A rumor began circulating that when police arrived, they were not responding to a domestic conflict as many assumed, but to a rapidly unfolding security assessment situation inside a high-profile residence where clarity was still being established on arrival. That phrase alone, clarity still being established, became the most dissected part of the entire night, because people started asking, what exactly needed clarification? Why was the response so urgent? And why did it involve one of the most heavily secured celebrity homes in Los Angeles? Meanwhile, another wave of speculation claimed that Rihanna and A$AP Rocky were seen separated briefly during the police presence, not due to arrest or detention, but as part of standard procedure during a high-priority incident review. Again, nothing confirmed, but the internet had already built its version of events. And in that version, everything looked far more dramatic than reality may suggest. Then, the final twist hit. A viral post claimed that authorities were reviewing multiple internal statements from individuals inside the property to reconstruct the exact timeline of events leading up to the 911 call. That single claim reignited everything, because now the focus wasn't just on what happened, but on what sequence it happened in. Who reacted first? Who made the call? What was seen? What was misunderstood? What was miscommunicated? Every detail suddenly mattered. And the biggest shock of all? Despite the massive online explosion, heavy speculation, and non-stop viral commentary, there was still no official narrative confirming the dramatic version circulating across social media. Not from police. Not from representatives. Not from verified sources tied to the couple. Just fragments, interpretations, and rapidly evolving theories. And that silence became the loudest part of the entire story. Because in situations like this, the absence of confirmation doesn't calm the internet. It fuels it even more. And as of now, one question is still hanging over everything. Was this truly a dramatic emergency involving panic inside the mansion? Or has the internet once again turned a confusing moment into a full-scale viral storm? The answer is still not clear. But what is clear is this. This story is far from over. And the next update could completely change everything again. And just like that, the situation that started as a single emergency call has now turned into one of the most talked about celebrity controversies of the year, even without a single official confirmation of the wildest claims spreading online. But here's the real question nobody can ignore right now. What actually happened inside that mansion before the 911 call? Was it a genuine emergency that got misinterpreted by the internet? Or is there still a missing piece of this timeline that hasn't come out yet? Because every hour brings a new theory, a new insider leak, and a new version of the story that completely changes what people think they know. And that's exactly why this case is still exploding online. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Rihanna really called 911 because of something serious happening inside the home? Or has social media completely blown this out of proportion again? And where do you stand on A$AP Rocky in all of this? Is he being unfairly dragged into speculation? Or is there more to the story that hasn't been revealed yet? Drop your opinion in the comments, because this is one of those stories where every perspective adds another layer to the mystery. And if you want the next update on what investigators, insiders, and new leaks are saying as this situation develops, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. because the next revelation could completely flip everything we just covered. And trust me, this story is not slowing down anytime soon.